Hello, and welcome to the Chronicles of a Dreamworker, a new podcast dedicated to exploring and sharing the stories of what happens on the other side when we close our eyes. I'm your host and creator, Katie Thompson. I'm a lifelong intuitive and creative storyteller. I'm a multidisciplinary artist, mother, wife, and survivor. I'm also a dreamworker. What is a dreamworker exactly? For our purposes here, we'll define it as someone who spends their dreams literally working, usually in service to help others, the collective, and even themselves through intuitive work. There are many types of dream workers. There are those that help others decipher their dreams and their content. Some of us even do that in different ways. We may be here in the waking reality, working through the symbolization of our dreams after they happen. For some of us, our work to help others begins when we go to sleep. I'm still learning exactly what my work is. And through sharing these stories with you, I'm hoping we can learn more about dream work together. I started studying intuitive and dream work only a few years ago, but I've realized that I've been doing dream work ever since I can remember. Here, I'll share the stories, resources, and experiences I've discovered through dream work by connecting more fully with myself, both in waking and sleep. Whether one wants to view these stories as communications with a higher self or simply a sci-fi creative writing exercise, I'm really glad that you're here. Through these dreams, I've been given many gifts and skills, especially the dreams themselves. They've provided me access to a world of endless imagination that excites me to share. They've shown me things about myself that I've struggled to explore in this waking consciousness. They've shown me that who we are is more than just the perception that we've created here in this world. I refer to these dreams as going to work, as my experiences have taught me that dreams aren't just replays or the reprocessing of our memories. We can do so much more. We can create, engage, and even feel in our dreams similarly to as we do here too. Some of us have responsibilities or work to do when we get there. I've consulted other intuitives and mediums on my experiences, and they agree that there's something powerful happening when we close our eyes. Creating this podcast, I not only wanted to document my own experiences, but hopefully help others better understand dream work and their own relationship to it. I've spent many years not talking about this aspect of my life. And through my work as an advocate, I've realized the importance of creating space and community. I'm also a storyteller by nature, and it's my life's mission to help us all connect and better understand each other using what skills I have to offer. I thought for our first dream narrative share, I would give you a look into a pivotal moment of my life, what I consider as my first official conscious start of work as a dream worker. One thing to know about dream work is that it is not always pleasant, but there is always healing. I believe that I've chosen a particular type of dream work that supports others through some of what I've experienced here on this side, and we'll explore more of that in episodes to come. For now, please enjoy the first dream narrative, Introductions. My entire life, even as a kid, I felt connected to, well, more. My dreams have always been so vivid, my feelings always big, and an inner longing told me to keep pushing forward, giving my best to every day. I was training for what I didn't know, but I knew that it was important for me, at least. I pushed through many challenges as a child and developed a self-assurance through never giving up. I always gave everything I could, so I always knew I'd done my best, no matter the outcome. This led me to be a three-sport athlete, a lifeguard in the summers, and an overall active person. When I was 18 and in college, I suffered a spinal cord injury at my T12L1 vertebrae from standing up at my desk one day. Yes, I herniated a disc that compressed 60% of my spinal cord. Shortly afterwards, I also contracted a near fatal case of bacterial meningitis that has also left me with lifelong challenges. I was initially in the hospital for over a month, and it was very touch and go for a while. One evening, I began having trouble breathing, and my parents were told to start making arrangements because it did not appear I would make it through the night. Despite this knowledge, I relied on my training. The entire ordeal, I felt both a literal fire within me as the infection ravaged my nervous system and brain, but it did not diminish my inner fire, not in the slightest. I kept pushing forward. I would not accept the notion of giving up, as I always had. I was told I should probably be ventilated and moved to the ICU for a higher level of care, but I didn't want to. My family could not stay with me there, and I didn't want to fight this, or if I had to, transition alone. I then remember sitting down at a large conference table. Across from me were three beings, maybe more, made of light. They shone a bright yellow glow from head to toe with a discernible figure of a human, but they had no other distinguishable features. I was not afraid. We were engrossed in conversation. They confirmed what I had always felt, that I was here for a purpose. But I was at a crossroads. I could either leave, I could stay here on this earth, asleep, as I had been, or I could keep on the journey I had agreed to take on in this life before I even came here. It would be hard, but it would be full of that meaning I had felt my entire life. Without question, I chose the path I was meant for. It's what is right, of course. I had no other choice, I remember feeling. Then I asked if I could bring loved ones with me. The beings replied, "It doesn't work like that." I knew in time I'd better understand why. Still, I agreed, and I woke up in the hospital bed, still groggy and reeling from the infection. I couldn't lift my head above 10 degrees, and tubes and spinal fluid were literally pouring out of me. I hadn't moved an inch, but I knew that my entire world had just changed. When I fully came out of my fight with meningitis a few weeks later, everyone I knew looked at me differently. Everything felt different. The world seemed 10 times more beautiful and 10 times more heartbreaking because no one else could see how fleeting and temporary those beautiful moments could be. I also had a purpose to help others understand the power we hold in our hearts, especially when we trust and hope, have faith in who we are, what we know, and what we feel. I also had a new professional direction I wanted to take. I wanted to help people. I wanted to help people avoid the suffering I was enduring. I wanted to create something beautiful out of this. This dream set me back on the path I'd chosen before I came. It was the path I chose then, and it is the path I am choosing now to share with you. Let's choose hope. Thank you so much for tuning in. That concludes the first ever episode of Chronicles of a Dreamworker. I really hope you enjoyed it. I would love to hear from you and hear more about your experiences or resources. So drop me a message at dreamworkerchronicles@gmail.com. Be sure to like and subscribe if you're catching this on YouTube, and be sure to follow along on your favorite podcast platforms. Wishing you sweet dreams.